Hello, everyone. I was debating about whether or not to make a video from here at the hospital, and the main reason is because it just seemed a little strange. And as of today, it's been officially 3 weeks since I first checked in, so I have literally been here for 21 days. And um, for several days, it seemed silly for me to make a video while I was here, but that was kind of early on. And now I realize that since it's been so long, uh, and I haven't been able to take the video footage that I do have, access it, edit it, and post anything new. And, I haven't even been able to make any shorts, much less get some of my longer videos edited and posted. So I thought it would be fine for me to just kind of give you a quick update about where things are right now and where they appear to be going in the future, and some questions that I don't yet know the answers to. So essentially, let's back up just a little bit and I'll tell you what was coming originally, what the plan was for this fall, and then how my situation came in and changed that, and then where I might be going from here. Okay. The first thing is that I applied for and got accepted for my student visa for the fall, and my residency changed from a worker visa, like an instructor visa, to a student visa. And I was supposed to start studying in Onomichi, which is east, kind of southeast of my home in Higashi Hiroshima. And Higashi Hiroshima is, of course, East Hiroshima. So quite far from Hiroshima City. And my hospital, which is where I'm at right now, is in Hiroshima City. A little far. So if you drive from here to Amici and go to my school, it's at least an hour and 45 minutes from here to there. And from my house, it's an hour drive with good traffic. So my plan was to attend that school full time starting next month, and I was supposed to pay my first round of admission fees and tuition fees on the 15th of this month of September. But before that, I started to have some problems. I became very exhausted, very tired. I didn't realize it, but I was carrying a fever for many days in a row. And I just tried staying in bed, and I was eating less and less. And I found that I just was getting worse and worse. I was getting constipated. I was having more and more pains. It got to a point where my lower back on both sides were hurting. My kidneys were both hurting. My entire abdomen was hurting. I was having pain radiating down into my groin and into my leg. I was feeling bad all over. I mean, I was just in such pain that I couldn't even sleep. And one morning I decided to try and go out and get some pain relievers. And I could barely walk. Just getting to my van was not only hard because of pain, but also I was running out of breath and oxygen. And I didn't understand why things were getting so bad so fast. I talked to my sensei, Saori sensei, and she urged me to go to the hospital. And she went ahead and called my hospital here in Hiroshima and set up an appointment. I drove straight here, and on the way here, it was so difficult for me that I nearly ran off the road a couple of times. Uh, I hit a barrier with my van. Luckily, it didn't do much damage, and I barely got here and had to get in a wheelchair to get in the hospital and get up to see my doctor. It was an emergency situation, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought maybe it was related to my kidney tumor, of course, but it turned out to be not directly related. Um, the problem wound up being that I had some clots in my left leg, and that's the main issue. Now, I don't know how much you know about clots. I wouldn't say that I knew much about them, but there are different ways that they can actually form and uh, and come to be, I guess you could say. And you know, if you've had surgery before or leg injury, or you've traveled a lot and been sitting on your legs, or if you have cancer or a cancer tumor, all of these things can contribute to developing the DVT, the deep vein thrombosis, or deep vein clots in your leg. And so I've had several of those things. I've traveled a lot. I've had damage to my leg. I've had surgery, and of course, I have the cancer tumor on my kidney. So all of those things together could have been contributors. The cause is not as important as getting it fixed, and that's kind of where we're at. There's no immediate correction procedure that we can do, as far as I know right now. What they've been doing is just giving me a blood thinner every day, and essentially it enables the blood to flow a little better, and giving my body a chance to try to heal and fix it. But the thing is, it's been very painful and almost impossible for me to walk most days. And out of the past 3 weeks, most days I can barely stand, and walking more than a few steps is very difficult. Um, I would say about a week ago, I had made a lot of improvement. I was able to walk a lot, walk all the way down to the end of the hospital and back. And so it seemed like each day I was getting better and better. And then suddenly, a few days ago, it was like everything just started over again. My pain went up. I wasn't able to walk anymore. I went right back to barely being able to stand. I couldn't sleep because of the pain. So they actually increased my medication 2 times. I was taking pain medication 3 times a day. They changed that to 4 times a day. And then after that, they changed the dosage to a higher dosage. So I was taking a higher dosage 4 times a day. And so it's kind of ridiculous. But over the past few days, once again, I've been improving again. And now this morning, I was able to get up and walk to the vending machine and get some coffee. And I poured that in right here. So if you have something to drink, come, cheers. Um, the doctor came to talk to me while I was at the vending machine, and the slippers that they gave me are way too big, actually. They're usually too small, but these are way too big, and I fumbled around and almost fell down while I was talking to the doctor. So that was not only embarrassing, but ridiculous, because, you know, you definitely don't need to be uh, walking by yourself. I did have a walker. I use a walker when I go out for a walk, but almost falling down is no good. It just goes to show you how difficult it would be for me to not be in the hospital right now, and to be not only taking care of myself, but out in the middle of the country in my old house. If I were right here in the city, in an apartment with an elevator, and close to a few people that can help me, like my girlfriend here, um, then it's a little different. But they're worried about me going out to my house and not having direct access to people around me, to the hospital, and to other things. Um, it's a lot to think about, but just daily simple things like having water. I needed a ton of water. Having access to water all the time, um, using the toilet, washing clothes, washing dishes, preparing food, and just these basic daily necessity things. Very, 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 very difficult for me to do for myself right now. So the only option at the moment is for me to be here in the hospital. And so here I am. So I've been here for 3 weeks because if they let me go, they're not really sure what I can do or where I can go and who can help take care of me. The doctor did. Let me switch arms here. My right arm is getting tired. The doctor actually recommended to me that I go back to America, and the main reason is because in his mind, he thinks that I have family there that can support me. I could move in with, my dad or my sister or my brother, or somebody could take care of me. But my family doesn't work that way. It's not that simple. Um, Without dragging all of the details out, I would just say that I come from the type of family where it would do more harm to me than good for me to go back to America for many reasons. And one is because I would just endure um, more abuse from my family, even in this condition. Just to prove that to you, I did reach out and connect with my sister and my father about my condition several days ago. And my dad's response was to immediately start preaching to me and essentially telling me uh, about his religious beliefs and trying to push those on me as the most important thing. He didn't care about my condition. He wasn't asking me about how I was. He was just focused on just preaching the Bible to me and really honing in on that. His idea is that because I'm living abroad in Asia, I'm basically like a prodigal son. I'm a heretic, and I'm going to go to hell and burn. And so that's all he wanted to talk about. So I had to steer him off of that. And then later on, when I talked to my sister, um, she has issue with my relationship with my daughter, which of course is none of her business. My relationship with my daughter is just our business. But my sister took it upon herself to begin yelling at me. So you can see where I'm at. I'm sitting in my bed, which is where I spend most of my time. I get up when I can because I'm trying to move around, and to an extent, I need to exercise my leg and move it around. But I have to be careful because if I do too much, then it really bothers me and it hurts for several days. It's like going backwards. So I have to really be careful about how much exercise I do. And it just so happens that that same day that my sister called me and yelled at me on the phone, it was the same day that I really overdid it and walked too much, and I was really hurting. So I'm sitting here in bed, and the doctors have given me, this kind of grim prognosis about what can happen to me if this issue doesn't resolve, and what could happen to me if I'm alone and nobody's around. And they're talking about possible embolisms in my lungs, and for my brain, and even heart attack, things like this. This is very serious. And my sister, knowing all this stuff, still yelled at me on the phone. So that's the kind of family that I would have to go back to if I were to go back to America. So as you can see, and as I explained to the doctor, that's impossible. And it would be financially ridiculous for me to go back to the U.S. anyway. I don't have any insurance, no place to go, no people to support me. It would be like suicide to go back there. The people that really love me are on this side of the earth anyway. My good friends that are here in Japan, my girlfriend is here locally, my good friends in China. I have other friends. Some of my friends are probably watching this right now, or are subscribed to my channel and have come to see me, and have offered to come to see me, or will be coming to see me soon. You know who you are. So I do have friends here and people who care about me, and they've done so much more for me than anybody in my family has done for me. I haven't received any positive words from my immediate family, and I haven't received so much as one penny from them. I can't work right now. Um, I'm still not monetized on YouTube, but even if I were, I think the most I would get would be like 25 or $30 in a month. But I'm still lacking more than 200 watch hours on YouTube. So I'm not getting anything there, and because I can't make videos, it's very difficult for me to get those watch hours up. Um, but even if I were to leave the hospital, I'm not in working condition. And like I said, I was supposed to go to school this semester, but because of my condition, I can't. So that's an update. I will not be able to start Japanese language school this fall, starting next month. I won't be able to go. Uh, there's no telling when I'm going to be able to get to a point physically where I can go to school, but the hope is that I'll be able to be ready by spring. And so the update about that, and this is the big question mark, is that I'm going to have to contact immigration, the immigration office, and with the help of my counselor here at the hospital, who has been wonderful for me, we are going to communicate with them and see if they can possibly give me an extension on my visa because of my condition and allow me to remain and be treated and then attempt to go to school in the spring, which is around March or so, the end of March, somewhere in there. But will they honor that or not is a question I don't know the answer to just yet. So we're just going to have to wait and see. So, anyway, um, I'm all rawhide. I'm going to try to get your watch hours up. I appreciate that. And for you or anyone else who's watching, just by going back and watching any of my videos, all of those minutes will add up and add to my watch hours. And last time I looked yesterday, I believe I was like 223 hours shy of getting over 4,000 watch hours. And that's 4,000 is the minimal that's needed to be monetized. And of course, like I said, I won't get too much money, but even getting 25 to $50 extra a month would be really helpful for me. As I said, not only am I not working right now, but even if I want to try to sell some figures online here in Japan or ship them abroad, I can't even do that right now because I can't leave the hospital. I can't do anything. And even if I could leave the hospital right now, I would have to use a wheelchair. I can't walk well enough on my own to get around without a wheelchair. And taking my wheelchair and trying to ship stuff off doesn't sound like something I could easily do. I would have to have help to do that. So until I can really physically recover to a much better extent than where I'm at now, I won't really be able to do much to make money. So I have to really think about what else I can do apart from shipping anime figures off. And I obviously can't teach in this condition. And that's another funny thing. Even if I want to go back to work or do something like that, I have to pass a physical exam. And obviously, in this condition, even if everything else is fine, with my leg the way it is, I wouldn't be able to pass that physical. So I wouldn't be able to teach even right now, unless there's some sort of like online only teaching job. If there's something like that, then I could probably do it. But if it's a job here in Japan, I would still have to pass a physical, and I can't do that right now. So anyway, that being said, I do have options for people to donate. And I have like a GoFundMe and PayPal and all of that. There are links in my About Me page. So if you're interested in doing that, that's fine. I really do appreciate it. It's not required, but I just mention it because I've had some friends tell me before that I should keep mentioning it and not feel ashamed about mentioning it, especially considering the situation. And I get that. But I also don't want you guys to feel like I'm just pushing it on you because I'm not your responsibility. Um, I've had some other people offer me, some other friends, they've offered me some money. And at this time, I've just turned them down because I feel like if it gets to a point where I really absolutely do need help, then I'll let them know. But I don't like the idea of accepting gifts or borrowing unless it's absolutely necessary and there just aren't any other options. So for now, I'll leave it at that. As far as, when am I going to get out of here? It's difficult for me to answer that question. I'm not really sure because my leg has to get to a point where the pain is more manageable and my mobility is more manageable. If you see right down here on the floor, you'll see right next to the fridge, there's there's some walking sticks. And one of my friends and subscriber that you should probably know from my earlier videos, Glenn, he came by. He was kind enough to come to Hiroshima and come drive my van back to Toyosaka because it was parked here at the hospital and I was getting charged about I don't know, $12 a day for parking. And since my van had been here for more than 2 weeks, it wound up costing me more than $200 just for the time it was parked here, and it was becoming more and more every day. So he was kind enough to come get it and drive it back to Toyosaka, and so I'm not accruing that charge anymore. So that's good. And my hospital counselor told me that there is a limit, like a monthly limit, that they can charge me for hospital bills, and she was able to apply for that and get me a card. And that card, uh, that's another thing. If you live in Japan or you're thinking about living in Japan one day, it might be useful for you to know that even though everyone is required to have insurance, whether it's the national insurance or your company's health insurance, there is also a limit of that you can be charged for medical expenses within a given month. And so you should always keep that in mind. If for some reason you're going to have to go and have several procedures done within a short amount of time, or if you're going to have to go into the hospital for an extended time like I have, uh, that can really rack up a big bill. But luckily, there is a limit to how much they can charge me within a month. And if not for that, I wouldn't be able to stay here. I'd really be in a very bad situation. So I still have bills to pay, but it's not going to completely tear me apart like it would have otherwise. So that's good. But I'd like to be able to tell you when I'm going to be out of here and when I'll be able to do some other thing, get back to the house. But as of right now, it's looking like I'm going to have to find another place to stay inside the city that's close to the hospital and close to a Japanese language school that's in the city. So instead of staying at my house full time, I'm going to have to find a place here locally to stay. And then as my body gets better and I'm able to, then I will begin to commute on the weekends or whenever I'm free out to my house in the countryside to do cleaning, repairs, and things like that. Staying out there full time in my condition right now and for a while is neither advisable nor really possible. So the best case scenario right now is to get a cheap place to stay here nearby. That way I have some people close that can support me and help me when and if needed. And I'm very close to the hospital, and I can change schools here nearby. So support, hospital, and schooling is all right here. And then as my health improves, I can go out to my house to do repairs, cleaning, and videos and things like that. But it looks like my time, at least for now, for a while, staying at my home in the country is going to be put on pause. And it will just become a part-time thing. luckily I still have my van, and I look forward to being able to use that not only to get out to my house and do some stuff there as I recover, but also to help, do some hopefully online sales and build business here so that I'm able to support myself without relying on anything else or anyone else. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I think right now I just wanted to update you about what happened, and how long I've been here, what's going on, and a little bit of prognosis for the future. As far as my kidney and my tumor are related, my my doctor said there hasn't been any significant change. Oh, hey Daniel and Yuka, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. It's good to see you. Um, so the good thing is that there hasn't been any change for good or bad with my tumor. So it's not negatively affecting me more than usual. It's just kind of plateaued and flat. So my issue with my leg shouldn't be adversely affected or highly negatively affected by what's going on with my tumor right now. And in some other ways, it seems like my body is cleaning itself up a lot. And just for example, I've been drinking so much water that it seems to be helping really clean my system out, and that's great. That's really, really good. Um, but yeah, you're right. The parking here is insane. If you come to the hospital and you have an appointment, and you come in, you go to your appointment, and you leave the same day, it's only 300, and that's a really good deal. But when you stay overnight, you lose that discount. It goes up to 1,600 per day, and there is no discount after that. So unfortunately, I didn't have anybody who could immediately come and get my van, and I didn't know how long I was going to be here. So now that, well, once I realized it was going to be a while, that's when I let Glenn know, hey, you can come, because he said he would come and get it and move it. So he went ahead and took it for me a few days ago, and it was a good thing that he did, because I don't want to. Oh, actually, Glenn is in the chat now, waiting at the airport. Cool, man. Yeah, thanks again, Glenn, for coming to help. It was a big help, and if I wound up being here for much longer, then you will have saved me, maybe a couple hundred more dollars. I don't know. We'll see, but it's still much appreciated. And thanks for the walking sticks. The the doctor actually asked me this morning if I had anything like that, if I had some walking sticks, and I said, actually, my friend Glenn brought those for me, and he said, oh, good. So he thinks those will be very useful for me, and I should try to use those to get around. So excellent. We got ahead of the curve on that one. A little preemptive walking stick action. But anyway, I'll continue to appreciate and be grateful for your support in the way of anything that comes my way, even if it's just comments and likes. If you guys can watch some of my other videos, help get those watch hours up, I'd appreciate it. Like I said, if I can just get those watch hours up and get monetized, then everything I've already posted will start making me a little bit of money, and even that can help me out. The yen is the value of the yen is very, very low right now, so getting some extra money in dollars is always a big deal here, because the dollar is so much stronger than the yen right now. But anyway, I don't know if you guys have posted any questions, but let me see. Okay. All right, I don't see any questions, but I will let you know that if any of you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below the video, and I'll be more than happy to come back and answer them. And it's the same with any of my videos. If you have any questions about anything that I've posted or any videos I've made, or just about me or my situation, doesn't matter. Feel free to post the questions. You You can also email me if you want it more private. Oh, hey, who is it who just said hello? Oh, Mr. Chu. Hey, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in. But like I said, if you want it more private, you can email me. My email is in my About Me tab on my main YouTube page. But that's pretty much it for now. We're 30 minutes. I think that's a good update. If all of you, or for all of those who stuck through this or who are going to stick through it later, um, I appreciate you joining me. Um, Daniel, I did talk a little bit about this earlier about the timeline. All I can say is um, not really sure because it depends on if I'm able to get to a point or when I'm able to get to a point where I can actually get around uh, independently enough to take care of myself and have a certain degree of mobility. And in order to help me to get there, they are trying to help me find an apartment here in the city that I might be able to just leave the hospital and go there directly without having to go back out to my house in Toyosaka because it's a little far, and once I get there, I'll be kind of stuck, and it'll be difficult for me to go anywhere and take care of myself. So, um, but the short answer is I don't know, and they don't know. It's really just dependent on how well I can get around, how soon I can get to a point of getting around without much pain and have more mobility. And right now, we just don't really know those things. It's literally like a roller coaster right now. So, but anyway, once it looks like that is going to happen or does happen, I will let you guys know. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate your positive comments, your thoughts, prayers, and other support. But that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. I love you all. And ありがとうございます. See you next time. Hopefully it'll be real soon. じゃあね。